New stimulus checks just approved. Also, some new reports just released on the low income. And cash stuffing? Wait, what? Yeah, exactly. Well, I've been reading a number of different reports about this lately, and according to the people that are doing it, it is changing their financial lives. Well, I'll be talking about it right here in this video, so let's get right into it. But really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and because I am your one and only daily advocate, and I am very much dedicated to you and this community to do whatever I possibly can to keep you updated each and every day and to help you out in any way that I possibly can, get some money, benefits, programs, and anything else that is out there right now we can possibly get our hands on. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get right into the update. Alright, so we do have a lot to talk about in this video, so let's first off start out by talking about these reports talking about the low income. Now, earlier today, I saw one of these reports come out, I read it, and I thought, oh, that's pretty interesting. Well, sure enough, as the day progressed, I saw a number of different reports popping up talking about essentially the same thing, and I thought, whoa, maybe this is a bigger topic than we realize. We should probably be talking about this in one of the videos. So here's what it comes down to. These reports coming out right now are showing a surge in low income and those people who are struggling right now going to food banks in their local areas to help them out, bridge the gap to get the necessary amount of food that they need on an ongoing weekly or monthly basis. Now, this is actually interesting because the reports were coming out showing that these food banks were actually seeing a decline in people starting to come to them simply because things were improving, people were doing a little bit better maybe, and all of the relief out there that was going out, and people were doing maybe a little bit better. Well, as a result of a lot of this relief and stimulus and things like this drying up here over the last several weeks and the last couple months here, a lot of programs have started to kind of wind down, and things have gotten a lot more tight for people. Not only that, inflation continues to rage on, as we all recognize as well. As a result of that, all of these factors put together, apparently food banks across the country right now are actually seeing massive surges in people starting to come in as of recently because they simply don't have the money and or the food to get them through a week or the months or whatever it happens to be. So kind of interesting how this whole thing is playing out once again, because we saw the whole thing just like this back in early 2020 when the whole COVID thing started. Basically, food banks were seeing tons of people coming in because, the whole situation started then. Well, it kind of started to tame down as we came through like late-ish 2021, and now here we are back in 2022, and now the food banks are seeing this, basically a lot of people starting to come in once again. Essentially what it's calling on is people don't have enough relief right now, is essentially what the reports are saying. We need to continue offering everybody this extra relief right now because the situation that we're in is certainly not over. Maybe COVID is tamed down quite a bit, but the point is, inflation is the next big battle that we are up against right now, that many low-income and fixed-income individuals are really struggling with. So maybe it's not COVID these days anymore, but it's now inflation, right? The next big animal we got to wrestle around with and try to get ahead of, which ultimately, that's a tough one. Realistically, no matter how you cut it, inflation is going to dig in on everybody, no matter what, for the most part, right? So anyway, thought it was kind of pretty interesting to see a number of these reports coming out today. When I saw one earlier today, I thought, oh, that's pretty interesting. But when I came across multiple more throughout the day, I thought, oh, this is maybe a much bigger issue, and we should probably talk about this. So anyway, if that is something that you need to take advantage of in your local area, by all means, please do it, because that's why they have these food pantries, the food banks, all of these different things. They have these services for the people out there who maybe need a little bit extra right now. So if you need to do that, please don't feel ashamed about it. Please take advantage of it. They have these services. They have the availability out there for you to take advantage of. If you need it, please do it, okay? But again, I'm just here trying to give you the information that I find out there while doing my research. No pressure at all. I just want to do what I can to help you out and encourage you to do what is available for you. All right, next, let's quickly talk about cash stuffing? Yeah, interesting. It sounds kind of weird, right? But anyway, I've been reading a number of different reports about this as of recently, and according to the people that are actually doing this, they're actually saying that it is changing their financial lives right now, especially with everybody with their back against the wall with all of this massive inflation, just like what we were talking about. So let me walk through the simple concept about this. Now, I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on this whole cash stuffing thing. I can always make a dedicated video about that if you'd like to learn more. But essentially, it's like an envelope system. Now, again, you can have envelopes, you can have folders, you can have, whatever you want. Essentially, little containers or little vessels, whatever it happens to be. Again, it could be an envelope, it could be a soup can. I mean, seriously, whatever you want it to be. Anything fun, whatever fits your personality. And basically what you do is you basically just take any extra money or basically any money that you have at the time. It could be $1, it could be $5, $10, $15, $100, whatever it happens to be. And basically you portion it out into small bills, maybe 5s or 10s, something like that, maybe a few 1s here and there. And then you portion your money out into these little containers. So maybe the containers are labeled something like rent, gas for my car, maybe food or groceries. Maybe another one is labeled something like entertainment. I'm guessing not a lot of people have extra money for entertainment these days, but again, maybe you have an entertainment bucket. You could have all kinds of different things. Clothing, you could have all kinds of different containers or folders or envelopes, whatever it happens to be. And then basically you take whatever excess money, or even if you don't have excess money, you basically just take, your income, whatever it happens to be. Maybe you peel off a 20 each month, or maybe you peel off 50 each month, whatever you see fit. And you break it down into small bills, and then you fund these little envelopes or folders or soup cans or coffee cans. Again, doesn't really matter, whatever is consistent with your personality. And then you put it into the necessary bucket. So maybe each month you put, say, $10 into entertainment, or, I'm just using that as an example. Maybe $20 into rent, or, whatever. I'm just giving these as examples. Or maybe, $5 into food. So maybe you can actually, every month, maybe you can go into or maybe every 3 months or something, you can go into your, say, food container and you say, oh, wow, I got an extra 20 in my food container. And this is for me to go out and maybe buy something really nice for myself. Maybe it's, whatever. I don't really know what people eat, but I'm just simply saying, maybe you take that extra money and you go out and buy yourself, something that you've wanted at the grocery store, but maybe it's just kind of like, I like it, but it's just not reasonable for me to buy right now. And maybe you take that and you go out and buy that. Or, maybe you have one that's labeled like credit cards. Maybe you have a little bit of balances on credit cards, and you put that money into, say, a credit card, maybe folder, or, your little container that says credit cards, and you put all that money toward paying down your credit card. Again, according to what I've been reading about this, apparently a bunch of people have been doing this and finding a lot of success with it. Even I read just one story a few minutes ago, right before I started recording this video, and the person that was using this was actually saying, I went from being a person that had literally no savings in my life, to a person now where I have extra savings and I can pay all my bills. Kind of cool, right? So, not bad. One more thing I want to throw out there too. So basically what the whole strategy behind this is, you only get to spend the amount of money that is in the little containers. So let's just say the food example that I was saying. Let's just say you have $20 in the little food container, right? And you say, wow, I want to spend this on something special for myself. So the rule is you only get to spend the 20 that's in there. You don't get to go to the grocery store, and because you have 20 in the container, you don't get to go spend 30. No, that's not how it works. No, that would be fun. You get to spend the 20 or anything less than that. You can spend 5, you can spend 7, you can spend 10, 15, or 20, but no more than that, right? Kind of makes sense? Anyway, try it out. If it works for you and your personality, that's cool too. If not, that's totally fine. I've been reading a lot about it lately. I've seen it in a number of different headlines lately, and I thought, oh, that's kind of a fun concept. Apparently, this is nothing new. It's always been called like the envelope strategy or something like that. But anyway, they call it cash stuffing now. So anyway, check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, let me know if you want a dedicated video. I can always make a much better dedicated video talking about that. But anyway, thought it was kind of cool and thought I'd want to share it with you right here in this video. All right, let's quickly talk about some stimulus checks that have now been approved. Now, these ones are done. These ones have been approved. So these are on the state level. As of right now, most of the stimulus checks we're talking about that have been approved anyway are on the state level. There's a number of states out there that have approved stimulus checks. Some states call them tax rebates, tax credits, stimulus checks, direct payments, whatever you want to call it. Some states call it different names, but essentially at the end of the day, it is a stimulus check. That's what it is. Okay. And by the way, there are multiple states out there right now that have stimulus checks that are hanging out in the wings, just waiting that final approval. They're basically waiting there, standing at the end of the diving board, just waiting to jump off, right? They just need to get a little bit of courage or somebody needs to sneak up behind him, give him a little push, if you know what I mean, right? Anyway, hopefully one of those strategies work. Anyway, let me talk about these stimulus checks that have been approved. Now, this one was the latest one to be approved out of the state of Illinois. People in the state of Illinois can get up to $400. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The state of Illinois and Chicago in particular has some pretty cool programs right now, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't love this one. It's kind of cheap in my opinion. But again, that's just my opinion, and honestly, who cares about my opinion? But here's what it comes down to. The state of Illinois has approved stimulus checks, but they're nothing too crazy here. So here's what it comes down to. A single person with an income under $200,000 gets $50. Yeah, that's what I mean by kind of cheap. $50? Seriously? That's nothing to really write home about. Don't get me wrong, I'll take the 50, but it's nothing great, right? All right, so a married couple can get up to $100 provided their income is below $400,000. That seems weird to me. Again, does somebody earning $400,000 really need a $100 check? I mean, do they really care? I mean, let's just be real right now. What they should do is lower the income thresholds and then take all the money that should have gone out to those higher income people and give it to the lower income people. Again, it's not my deal. I'm not in Illinois, but if I were in control there, that's what I would do. I would lower the income thresholds way down and take that money and increase the amounts and send it out to the lower income people. That's just what I would do. But again, that's my strategy. All right, anyway, plus an additional $100 per dependent. And by the way, there's a limit of 3 dependents in that state with a maximum payout of $400. Okay, so that's the state of Illinois. Let's go on to Delaware now. Delaware also has an approved stimulus check in that state, $300 as an individual and up to $600 for a married couple. So now we're talking. This one's a little bit more generous. This one is a little bit more within the lines that we can feel like, okay, that's acceptable. $300 for an individual and $600 for a married couple. That one is approved as well. Next, let's quickly talk about the state of Alaska. We don't really hear a whole lot about Alaska, but Alaska, you are up, and in that state, they're giving out $1,300. Now, here's the thing. This is in addition to your annual dividend that you get from like the oil or whatever. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not all that familiar with it, but I do know that the state of Alaska does send out an annual dividend as well. This is on top of that. So this is in addition to. So it's a $1,300 check if you're in the state of Alaska. You get your annual dividend, and then you also get this check, the $1,300. Pretty cool stuff, right? Yeah. So I know that there's some of you here in Alaska because I've seen your comments down below, and I've seen you commenting saying, hey, I'm in Alaska. Cool stuff, right? All right, but remember too, there are those other states out there right now that also have approved stimulus checks that we just talked about the other day. If I can remember off the top of my head, Georgia is one of them. Idaho, Illinois, no, sorry, not Illinois. Well, Illinois, yes, I just talked about them as well. But it's Georgia, Idaho, Ohio? What? No, Ohio. Maybe it was Ohio. Sorry, I'm just going off the top of my head right now, just going off of memory. New Mexico was on the list. There's multiple other states out there that have pending checks, like Maine, Pennsylvania, $2,000, California, Minnesota, what else? New York was on the list for pending. Kentucky is on the list. There's a lot of pending checks out there right now as well. But anyway, as I do get more details on any of these programs, of course, I'll be right back here for you, breaking it all down. I hope this little quick update gives you a little glimpse into what's going on out there right now. Again, let me know about that cash stuffing thing. If you want more details on that, of course, I can make a dedicated video talking about it, but thought it was kind of interesting and thought I'd share it with you in this quick video. Anyway, these are the details that I have for you as of right now. If you're in any of those states, please do some research and see what you need to do to claim that extra money on your state level. Anyway, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. Make sure to subscribe down below and, of course, share this video. Otherwise, go back and check out any of the other nearly 2,400 videos right here on the channel. Thanks again. I appreciate it. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again later in the next video. I'll see you for now.